Hello, welcome back to my world of stuff. Hope you're all very well. Yes, I'm outside today. It's Wednesday, it's the 5th of July. I haven't done a video for nearly a week since the last film review. I thought to rectify that, I'd put something up, a video I've been promising, threatening to do for a little while. It's an updated cinema room tour. Now, I put up a video last year, a quick look around the cinema room. It's not much different, but as I think I've mentioned, there was a leak problem, a leaky roof across the winter, did a bit of damage inside. So it's all been repainted and redecorated. Some of the artifacts and bits and pieces have been rearranged. Still a couple of things to do. The ceiling needs to be repainted. That's going to be done shortly. But everything is pretty much in place where it's going to be. Now, it's a bit of a movable feast because obviously things move around. It's a leisure room, so things come and go. But I thought I would take you on a quick tour and see what you think of what's been done. So join me, shall you? Okay, so here's the view across the garden. What we have is, hidden behind this bush and the shed, is the cinema room, which is the old garage that was attached to the house. It was always full of rubbish. There was never anything kept in there, and decided a couple of years ago it was time to turn it into an extra little man cave. So we approached through these steps, and you see the sign on the door, the cinema room door. This is the blind which is pulled down, and in we go. So here we are, we're in the cinema room. Now, as I said, if you've seen the previous video, which was, 18 months ago, not massively different, but a few little slight cosmetic changes that have been done. So here's the overview of the whole room. As you can see, this is from what would have been the end of the garage. The garage door is behind this partition. So we created sort of a new door here, which doesn't unfortunately shut very well. And inside, kept bits and pieces, paint, vacuum cleaner, odds and sods that are kept in there out of harm's way. So it's part of the garage goes on a little bit beyond this to the metal door at the back. Didn't soundproof it, unfortunately, so do get to hear a bit of traffic as the road behind is quite busy, but gets a bit quieter during the day. So there we are, as we come in then. So as I said, that's the view across the whole room. As we come in, I have one of the blinds on the door there. Unfortunately, when we had the blinds fitted, they weren't quite big enough, so we had to blacken out the sides of the windows so that it does completely black out, but it's fine. As far as decorations and stuff is concerned, some of this may be familiar. There's some new stuff here. I've just put this up on the door into the storage area. It's a dragon poster. Now, I'm not a big dragon person, not a massive Game of Thrones fan, but this is a really nice poster I picked up a few years ago. It's a bit battered, it's been folded up for years, rolled up for years, but it's quite a nice dramatic dragon attack scene. I picked this up, God, must have been 20 years ago, and had it on display back before I moved out. Still living with parents years ago, so that's how long I've had that. On the side wall here by the door, we have some more bits and pieces. This is a Jurassic World or Jurassic Park sort of vehicle plaque, which is quite nice. This I picked up from the Doctor Experience in Cardiff a few years ago. The scrap merchant sign, Totter's Lane, needs to be reattached to the wall because the gum has come a bit loose. First of the many film posters, we have Kill Bill and It's a Wonderful Life. The film posters, I've tried to make them sort of a mix of classic old films that I do like and some modern favourite films. And you'll see that reflected across all the walls, really, with all this stuff. As we come in then, this is the old display cupboard, which I had indoors, moved it up here. This now has a lot of stuff in it, as you can see. Let's open it up. Here you will see my burgeoning comic book collection. I've been picking up various graphic novels and things over the last few years. Really, since the pandemic, I was online on eBay just buying a few bits and pieces here and there. Haven't read a lot of them, but just nice to have them. Things that I go back to when I used to collect comics. A couple of Doctor Who figures and things. That's the Keys of Marinus box set, which I picked up, haven't opened, and some of the other figures here. That's one of the Eagle Moss sets. These are that's a B&M collector's character options set. That's some of the B&M larger figures. That's David Bradley as the Doctor and the TARDIS. And up here we have more Daleks, because I'm a bit of a Dalek person, as you'll see. This is the History of the Daleks set, which I picked up a few months ago. Haven't been able to get many of these. They tend to sell out quite quickly, but I have managed to get one or two, and I've kept that one in this box. Genesis of the Daleks. Then some classic Daleks from the early days, and a couple of gold Daleks from Day of the Daleks. Behind there we have some books. That's the reprints of the Doctor Who Target books that the BBC did. And there we have some Doctor Who CDs of soundtracks and odds and sods. If you wonder what the Blu-rays and DVDs are behind there, they're all belong to my brother, because when we moved stuff up here, we put a lot of his things up here as well, but they will probably be moved to another cupboard because he never uses them, to be honest, so they're just sitting there. And frankly, I can use the space. Over there in the corner, we have some CDs. A very small fraction of my CDs, but just ones I use up here. Above there, on top of the cupboard, you'll see a few more figures. That's the Marvel Versus figures. I was very pleased to pick these up quite cheaply on eBay. I think they're about 30 quid. I got them for about 8 or 9 quid, I think. Let's face it, the main Marvel heroes in action pose, looking kind of good. Behind that, a TARDIS. Behind that is a slate, number 6 from The Prisoner, which I picked up when I went to Port Marion years ago. Behind that is a Universal Studios clapperboard that I picked up from Universal Studios when I went there back in the 90s. On the other cupboard, this is the cupboard that's mainly sort of magazines and Blu-rays. On top of there, I've shown you these before, but there's my 4 Eagle Moss Mega Daleks. Very proud of them. My 1 Bronze Dalek and Davros, and behind that is a plaque, Doctor Who and the Daleks, which I picked up years ago. Then we have the shelving units for some collectibles. There we have the Death to the Daleks Mega Dalek, which I did a video for a while ago. And up here we have a selection of sort of film and TV related books. The Doctor Who film 4K sets. Just stray, magazines, Doctor Who-y things, really a lot of Doctor Who stuff. The Doctor Who Chronicles collection that Marvel or Panini are doing these days. And various other sort of film related books and things are there. And then we have the shelves that include the Blu-rays. Oh, I'm just taking a seat here. Yes, it's the Blu-rays. I mean, I think I did a couple of Blu-ray collection Blu-rays, but they weren't very popular, so I discontinued them. As you can see, they go down quite a way, and there's a lot which haven't been filed away yet. There's steelbooks over there. I'm going to do a separate steelbook section because I've got quite a few of them now. A stray Doctor Who record. I probably picked that up to sell on eBay. I haven't got around to it. At the bottom we have some more. That's the old Pulp Fiction. I think it's the 20th anniversary briefcase Blu-ray edition. So yeah, that's all them. Over at the bottom of the other display case, this is sort of daily use shelving, if you like, with plastic bags and all the odds and sods that you might want to use. Don't know what that is. During the day, filming videos and things. Scissors, for example, goes in there. And that's my Universal Monster set, which I'm quite pleased with. And the little Hollywood statuette things I bought a couple of years ago. So that's, as you come in, ooh, stands up. Here's the elephant in the room. This is my weight training device. This I bought, well, it was bought for me actually years ago for a birthday. Put it in the garage as it was. I used it a fair bit. I had a running machine as well. That's hidden away. I don't really use this very often. Occasionally I might come in and do a few weights, but it's not something I use, as you can see by the colorization of the weights. So I think this is probably going to come down so I can put a bit more storage and just make this sort of fully the cinema room rather than cinema room and odd weights. As you can see, I just use the seat to sort of stack things up. Books and comics and sort of eBay stuff. There's a lot of eBay stuff on the floor, stuff I'm trying to get rid of on eBay. Another bookcase thing down there which I bought, which has got a lot of larger film and TV related books. Then more posters on the wall. You may have seen these. I don't think these have moved. Rocketeer, film from the early 90s that I really like. 2001, I'm not a massive fan, but it's sort of a classic film and a classic poster. Classic old 50s sci-fi, Invasion of the Body Snatchers, and classic old horror in 3D, The House of Wax with Vincent Price. And over there we have very nice Art Deco poster from the original Superman film. And that's a poster, sort of a planetscape. This goes back to 1991 when I and my then girlfriend went to America, to San Francisco, Los Angeles. And this is sort of a piece of street art that was done. And I finally got it framed and put up on the wall. It's done with sort of dustbin lids and colours and things. It's really clever how he did it with, as the planets were all the shapes of spray cans and things. Really clever. Ooh, over on this wall, we have a couple more posters. A couple of classic films, of course, The Wicker Man, absolutely one of my favourite films. Below that, we have Alien. On the walls, we have these lights, which are sort of retro cinema type lights, a little bit dusty because they never close. The flaps sort of close, but they're always left open. This one isn't on very often, to be honest. Then down on the floor, bit chaotic as I said, lots of eBay things, bits and pieces you'll have seen in videos I've done recently, those canvases I bought at a car boot sale. Ant-Man figure that's put on eBay but didn't sell. A couple more posters which are just, there's lots of posters which aren't on the wall, just no room for them at the moment, but it's a bit of a movable feast, as you'll see. Here's the table and chairs. Now this was bought and put here when I used to do my podcast, TV Zone Plus podcast for Starburst magazine, which we did for a few years with my friend. It sort of finished unfortunately last year. Don't see so much of my friend now. He's got new family commitments, so it didn't really fit into his lifestyle to do the podcast, which is a shame, but I've kept the table and chairs. Quite handy. This is where I usually position my camera when I'm doing reviews and various things for the channel. Here's just some recent collection. These are things I've shown you in a recent video which haven't filed away yet, my most recent purchases, which are all stacking up on the table now, but I will put them away shortly. Moving further into the room then, we have the refreshment table. This has got my fridge where I usually put a few cans, a few sweets, chocolates and things to keep them cool, my popcorn machine, but there's all bits and pieces. My 10th Doctor and Weeping Angel Eagle Moss figurines, they were in a different place before, but I moved them there. And over there's a little sort of cinema projector sort of thing, which is quite cute. This is the sort of the sofa of cinema. This is where I sit and lounge and watch my films. There's room for 3 people, but there's very usually only me up here watching things these days. And I stretch out there and watch me films. On the wall over there, we've got some more posters. I think these haven't changed since the last time I filmed. These are all being put up with those plasticky things, command strips, and they seem quite secure. Some of them came down, but these are quite secure. We've got The Birds, Great Escape, Raiders of the Lost Ark, Star Wars, Back to the Future, RoboCop, and a couple of classics, The Time Machine and War of the Worlds. Some posters that are still in boxes. This is one which fell off the wall, needs to be fixed. It's Pulp Fiction. Down there is a little multi-plugged USB feature, plug socket extension thing. There is my DAB radio CD player, because sometimes I do like to come up here. I've done it a bit this week, just sit and read a book and listen to the radio or CD. Just relax with a cold drink or a coffee, have the music. I do like to have my music on if I'm not watching something, and really good sound quality on that, and very pleased with it. More posters above. We have Jurassic Park, of course, one of the greats, and one of my favourite films, Shaun of the Dead. And above that we've got some more cinema room sort of light things. Coffee table, if you like, which is just full of odds and sods that I use. A couple of books I'm reading at the moment. Biscuit tin, you've got to have biscuits. This is the holder for the various remote controls. A couple of CDs I've been listening to. This is quite nice. Okay, here's the cinema screen. 100-inch projector screen. Really nice. Really good quality on it. The screen actually covers a window. We boarded the window up, and it just looked like sort of a piece of board. So when I had the damage earlier in the year, I think we've got to focus a little bit. Apologies for that. Yeah, when we had the water damage, there's some water came in there and over there. It's all been repainted. A new roof has been put on, so it's now really waterproof, which is great. But this screen is normally down. But if on occasion I might want to sit here and perhaps I don't want to look at the screen, perhaps I don't want the screen there. Can't look out the window because the window's gone, we boarded that up. And what we have underneath, as you'll see when the screen retracts completely, I did this myself. I'm not very practical with these things. I can change a plug, but that's about it. This is one of those transfers that you can get. And I laid this on myself. I was very pleased with it. It's one of those things you can get. It looks like the TARDIS crashing through the wall. Obviously, the perspective isn't right. The TARDIS is quite small, but it looks quite nice. It looks like a hole, like sort of a crack in the wall with the TARDIS coming through it. I think it looks rather clever, rather nice. Sometimes I'll just have that there if I don't need the screen up. And yeah, just breaks up the wall a little bit more. Over here we have, because there's no heating in here, it does get a bit nippy in the winter, so I've got a nice little heater which does heat things up very quickly. On the wall then, this is all sort of newish. You wouldn't have seen it. I did have the shelf up there before, but it's been put on a different way now, so it's a bit more secure. And I've got some collectibles and things on there. I'll run through those with you. First of all, posters on the wall. These are now attached by ordinary sort of screws. I had them put in there. So I can take them off and swap them around if I want to. So it's not so much of a faff as the command strips. And there we have a replication of the Action Comics first issue featuring Superman. And on the other side, we have this poster of Target books. This I picked up in London a few years ago when I and a friend of mine, hello Sean, went to London for signing of a new range of Doctor Who Target books. And this was the poster that promoted them, which they were giving away free, and I got it signed by the artist, whose name I don't recognise now, unfortunately, but it's a really nice picture, had it framed, nice Doctor Who thing. That's my old canvas print of New York, which I do like, very pleased with that. The shelf now has a selection of things on it. It's got a Robocop figure. Even though I'm not a massive Star Wars fan, it's got Millennium Falcon. It's got one of those things. It's got another one of those things. And it's got Darth Vader. We also have, these are replicas of Star-Lord's guns in Guardians of the Galaxy. I'll pull them up properly. They're just painted wood. The trigger doesn't move, just blocks of wood, but they're quite nice. A pair of them, I got them off eBay or somewhere on the internet. And I think they just look quite nice propped up against the wall. That's a sort of Marvel thing. Eagle Moss figures of Moon Knight and Blade, quite randomly. Star Wars thing, and Batman figure. So that's the stuff on the shelf there. Posters underneath, we have, this is one of the things which I'm a big fan of the moon landings, if you like, and it's a replica of the Daily Mirror front page for the moon landing in 1969. There we have, I think it's a Jim Starlin, I'll be corrected if I'm wrong, painting of Batman and Robin in a dramatic pose. And there we have a poster from Avengers Infinity War. There we have, next to the screen, we have a couple more posters. These ones were there before, but they've been relocated now. Day the Earth Stood Still and Planet of the Apes. These two crates are full of my brother's Blu-rays. Above them we have the TARDIS. And it's the only thing about me personally, I suppose. It's a photograph taken at my graduation as a solicitor in the University of Glamorgan back in, 1994 probably would have been. So I kept that there, me as a young lad. Moving along, the other side of where the screen is, we will find a couple more posters. Classics again, Them, Giant Ant Monster movie, which is being remade. Bit concerned about that. And not one of Ray Harryhausen's best films, but it's a great poster and a great title. Earth versus the Flying Saucers. These two are where they were before. This is my Captain America's shield. Beneath that poster, canvas from Avengers Age of Ultron. Two more crates full of my brother's things. One of the only things I do need to get sorted out is a decent sound system. At the moment, all I've got is this sound bar and subwoofer, which connects wirelessly to the projector. It works fine, but I would like a bit more oomph. So that is something I'm working on getting sorted out later in the year, probably in time for the winter. We move around. We're nearly there. Got more posters. There were 3 up here, but there's 2 now. Spider-Man No Way Home and Ant-Man. Big Ant-Man fan. I even quite like Quantumania, to be honest. On the wall here, we have 3 more Marvel posters. Iron Man, Thor, and Doctor Strange. The only problem with these posters is probably because the reproductions, they are quite dark. There's lots of dark colours and greys and things. They don't pop out, which is a shame, because they're nice pieces of art. and it would be nice to see. Well, I think they're good quality, the prints, but yeah, the design does make them hugely colourful. This is a new thing. This is a sort of a 3-stand case I bought not long ago, just to put extra stuff on. So that's the lava lamp, which was up on the cupboard before. I've put that there. A couple of things around it, Superman, James Bond car. Underneath that, some various things. These are all things that were up on the shelf over there, but weighed it down a little bit, so I put them over there now, and there's space there for something else in due course. Then we have this case, storage case here, which is again part of the kitchen area. You've got my coffee machine and my little drawer full of pods, kettle if I want a cup of tea now and again, biscuits for coffee, my Hogwarts clock, Harry Potter. I'm not a huge Harry Potter fan, but it's quite nice. I picked it up in a charity shop for a couple of quid. Looks quite nice. And then in the cupboard here, we have some more collectible stuff. Needs to be a bit more organised. It's a bit chaotic, but lots of stuff in there. Land of the Giants, American box set of DVDs, and above that, excuse me, plastic kit of the Spindrift. A few other bits and pieces, some collectible odds and sods there. We have the Marvel collection of iconic sort of figures and things. Captain America's shield, Thanos. These need to be rearranged. That's the most recent one I picked up, Spider-Man. Some alien stuff, the alien engineer, Alien itself, a couple of Predator, and some Jerry Anderson stuff randomly done there. A couple of Eagles from Space 1999 and replica props, the communicator and the stun gun, and the Captain Scarlet card. This stuff needs to be properly rearranged. I've just bunged it in there to keep it out of the way, sort of thing. Nearly there, and then we come to the end. Yeah, this is sort of a, I forget what you call them now. This is a storage box thing which doubles up as a seat. Inside there we've got lots of magazines, Starburst magazine that I write for, a couple of other odds and sods. They're all hidden away in there for easy access. On the wall here I have these plaques. Again, you may have seen these before, plaques of Marvel Comics characters, covers of comics and characters and things. And there we have, as we get towards the door, a couple more posters. The original Dracula, I think this is from its re-release, and the Brides of Dracula. And you will see again there's some more posters here which aren't up at the moment. They have been up, or they will go back up in due course. And over there, in fact, by the coffee table, a couple more posters, Batman and a few others that I've moved about. I just left them there because I will put them up again in different places in due course. That takes us back to the door. There we have it, the cinema room as it is. Oh, we've also we've got the window. Sun streaming in at the moment with the blinds. Again, the blinds don't fit perfectly, but it's fine. I sort of stick them down against the window so there's no light spillage really, and usually by the time I get in here to watch something it's getting darker anyway. So that's the room. It's not massively different to the previous video I did 18 months ago. Just a few things moved around. It's a bit tidier, and what's particularly nice is, as this was a converted garage, I used to get lots of little creepy crawly invaders. Little bugs would come in, and I would sweep them up or get them out. But since the new roof has been put on, it's obviously sealed it up a lot more, and hardly anything gets in now. I very rarely find any creepies in here, which is nice. It makes it a bit more secure and a bit more sealed, I suppose. So, yeah, there's still stuff to do. I mean, it is what it is. As I said previously, I didn't spend thousands and thousands of pounds on massive sound systems and, you know, making it soundproofed and stuff like that. I didn't have the budget, to be honest. But I think for what it is, I think it's a decent use of space. It's a nice place to come for a bit of quiet. Yeah, I'm pretty pleased with it. The only other thing to be done now is the ceiling. I didn't actually show you the projector, did I? Which was very silly me, because that's where all the films come from. I'll show you that now. Okay, there's the projector mounted up on the wall. There's a little shelving thing up there. This is all going to be repainted because it's a bit tidy. And that's got my Blu-ray player that connects here. There's a massive tangle of wires. I've also got down here Amazon Fire Stick that connects to give me access to streaming services, and hard drives and things for anything I've downloaded. So yeah, projector's really good. I mean, it wasn't a massively expensive one, but the picture quality is great. The wireless is very good. As I said, hopefully when I get a decent sound system set up in here, it's going to look like a proper cinema. Yeah, that's it. Hope you enjoyed this little look around the cinema room. I'm pretty pleased with it. It's sort of what I wanted it to be. There were some issues at the beginning. As I said, during this particular, I think this is the second summer. The first summer was fine and the first winter was fine, but the last winter, it was quite a wet winter and it was getting very, there was a lot of leakage and a lot of damp coming in. And we knew there were problems with the roof, but we tried to sort of patch, I say we, tried to get it patched up, but it needed a new roof, and that was done early this year. And now it is much more secure and much more fit for purpose. Right, thank you for watching this video. Hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, why not leave a comment down below? Let me know what you think. If you've got a cinema room yourself or special cinema area, tell me about it. Let me know what you've done. If there's any ideas you can think of here that I could improve things. Although I do traditionally like organised chaos or disorganised chaos. I like having lots of things around me, I think. I've never been a show home person. I like to have stuff that shows that you live here and that you've got interests and a life and personality. And I hope that's reflected in the stuff I've put up here. Right, I'm going to leave you now because this has been quite a long video. I'll see you soon. Coming up next, there'll be some more film reviews coming up. I know I've had a couple of requests for retro videos. I've got them ready to go. I'll probably be doing them in the next few days. And of course, Mission Impossible's out on Monday. I'm really looking forward to that. Expect a video for that sometime on Monday. Right, I will see you soon. Until next time, you know what they say. Keep taking the stuff.